Hello friend, welcome to Live with Ease. My name is Julia and today we are going to focus on a practice to awaken the legs, to awaken the hamstrings and explore hamstring flexibility. So we're going to really take our time, breathe into the legs, breathe into those hamstrings, and hopefully in turn find the softness, find the ease, find the mobility and the sustainable length in those legs. A few things you'll need before we get started are 2 blocks, or you can stack up some books, preferably nice firm solid blocks because they're more supportive when they don't have too much squish or give. A folded towel or blanket and a bolster or cushion that we'll use under our pelvis at some point. Oh, and also a strap or a belt. Okay, so grab your goodies, get into your yoga cozies, and let's get those legs tingly and sparkly and long. Alrighty, so why don't we start resting back, getting nice and comfortable. Okay, in Shavasana, legs long. You can take a few big sighs just to allow the weight of the body to really let go and give over to gravity, give over to the earth. Good. Excellent. And then maybe take some time to really connect that exhalation to the dropping of the pelvis. So the heavy, heavy pelvis dropping, sinking into the earth. And then sending that awareness of the breath and the heaviness of the pelvis into the legs, all the way to the feet. So you're washing the breath from the pelvis down the legs to the feet. And then as you inhale, breathing in through the soles of the feet, sending that breath up the legs into the pelvis. And then exhale. Let go of the pelvis a little more, let go of the legs a little more, the feet a little more as you send the breath back down the body. There's a beautiful soothing imagery and visualization you can use here. So as I inhale through the soles of the feet and sending that breath up the legs to the pelvis, I can imagine that I'm lying on a beach on some nice warm sand on a nice warm day. And then that in-breath could be like a wave crashing on the sand and the water just in such a lovely, soothing way, crashing along the feet and drawing up the sands, over the legs, up to the pelvis, and maybe the belly. And then as you exhale, the water washes away back down the pelvis, legs to feet, back into the vast ocean. Inhale as the water draws up the legs to the pelvis. Exhale, washing that breath, the water back down the body, out the feet. Just spend a bit of time on your own. If you choose to take that visual or that imagery, see how it affects your ability to let go, to soften, while at the same time feeling weighted into the earth. How does that affect your jaw, your upper body? You start to feel some softness and easing of tension in the facial muscles, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Good. And then eventually, when you're ready on your own time, you can start to flex and point the feet, circle the feet. You can dig the feet, or the heels, I should say, into the ground or into your mat. And just gently point and flex the feet, or just kind of nudge the heels. Good. Excellent. And then eventually drawing the legs up to the abdomen, giving yourself a big hug, rocking those legs side to side. And there's an option to do this, or you can take the feet back onto the mat about wider than hip width apart, and then allowing the legs to windshield wiper from side to side. Good. So we really want to, as we start to get a little deeper into the legs and really wake up the legs and those hamstrings, what's going to be quite useful is really paying attention to those points of grounding. So really allowing the upper body to remain soft, heavy, and at ease. And then really using the grounding of the pelvis and the weight of the pelvis into the earth to help release the legs so that we can wake them up. Good. Awesome. So then let's grab our belts and our bolster. You can place your bolster under your pelvis. So this isn't necessary. You don't have to use the bolster if you don't want to. You don't have to use the strap if you don't want to, but I will go through the practice using these props. And again, your choice whether you use them or not. Now, having the bolster under the pelvis can really help with, or aid with, softening the holding and the gripping in the legs and in the hamstrings, because we're elevating the pelvis a little bit more. So if you have a lot of tension in your legs and you feel like you have to fight in the upper body to bring them or bring the leg straight up towards the ceiling in that 90-degree angle between the thigh bone and the torso or the pelvis, the bolster under the pelvis just allows a little more ease in that, and also allows you to drop into that upper body even more, releasing that tension, softening and easing off of that gripping. So if we hold tension anywhere when we're trying to release it, it doesn't really do us justice. It doesn't really do the trick. So we want to find softness and ease everywhere we possibly can. Okay, so taking that one leg, you choose which leg, up towards the ceiling, letting the weight of the pelvis sink into your bolster, grounding through the sole of the foot that's in contact with the ground. And I can start by simply moving the feet around to really start to wake up the back of the legs, so I can flex, point, circle. Good. And if you find, again, you're one of those individuals who have quite a lot of tension and in the front of the legs, so the thighs or the hips, and you find that your leg is so far away from you and it's creating more work, this is where you can use the strap so that you can, again, let that upper body relax, ground the upper arms, and let the foot rest into the strap. Good. And then from here, I just want to spend a few breaths with that idea of breathing through the sole of the foot all the way up the leg into the pelvis. And then as you exhale, really allow the weight of the pelvis to drop, sending that breath back down the leg and out the feet. And as you do, imagining that the thigh bone is lengthening away from the pelvis without doing or activating anything, just with the breath and with the mind, okay? Drop that pelvis, soften the legs. You can choose to keep that bottom knee bent. If it feels okay, you can extend that bottom leg. Again, finding softness, finding ease, finding the letting go. Good. You can begin to gently circle that leg right into that hip joint where the thigh and pelvis meet. Good. And then on an in-breath, I may take that leg that's up towards the ceiling a little bit away from the torso. As I exhale, keep dropping, letting the weight of the pelvis fall with gravity, softening the leg as you draw it a little closer towards you. So again, that idea, I'm breathing in through the soles of the feet, up the leg into the pelvis as I take the leg away. And then as I exhale, ground the pelvis, soften the legs, send the breath down the leg to the feet or the foot as I draw the leg towards me. How is that upper body doing? Good. So we really want to move slow, gentle, easy. This will really help with or avoid us taking the leg too much into the stretch, which can, again, create more strain and tension in the body, specifically in the hamstrings. Good. And then when you're ready and if you're comfortable, again, you can bend that bottom leg again at any point, extend it at any point. But the next piece is taking the leg out to its own side and across the body. So before I just drop it there, I want to take that moment where I breathe in through the foot, up the leg, pelvis. As I exhale, I want to keep dropping in both sides of the pelvis as I send that breath back down the leg and out the foot and out to its own side. Yeah. I can take a few breaths here with that same cycle. In through the foot, out, dropping both sides of the pelvis, down the leg to the foot. Excellent. And of course, you can slide the foot along the strap, back up to the center, and then crossing over the body. And as I cross the leg over the body, again, I want to see if I can, without force or pushing, let both sides of the pelvis fall towards the earth. On that out breath. And just see what that does to the hip flexors, to the leg. Keeping that upper body soft and heavy. If you want to take it completely over so that you end up in a twist, go right ahead. Let that foot relax. If you find that you're hovering and you want a moment to just let go, then place something under that foot, like a bolster, your folded towel or blanket, a block. Good. Continue to breathe up and down the leg. Every now and then, just check in with that bottom leg. If it is extended, that it is directly in line with the pelvis, so it's not splaying out too much. Yeah, good. And then, on your own time, we're going to bring that leg back to the center, bending the bottom leg, placing the sole of the foot on the ground if it isn't already. And then what we're going to do is, as we exhale again, dropping that pelvis, shake the leg, lower the leg towards the ground. Again, imagine that you're lengthening that thigh away from the pelvis. Let it arrive. Again, I can inhale, draw it back up. Exhale, lower and shake. One more. Good. And then eventually extend the other leg. How does that feel? Does one side feel differently than the other? Excellent. And then when you're ready, let's switch sides. So starting by bending the leg you were just extending up towards the ceiling, bending that knee and placing the sole of the foot on the ground, and then extending the opposite leg up. Good. Again, I can choose to use the strap or not. Good. So starting with flexion, extension, or sorry, flexing and pointing the foot, circling the ankle. Good. Circling in the hip. Excellent. And then eventually pause in the center. Take that moment to really focus on breathing in through the foot, up the leg to the pelvis. Exhale, drop the pelvis. Send the breath down the leg, out the foot, softening that thigh, softening the leg, while at the same time allowing it to be heavy. So the heaviness actually is what helps release the holding. Yeah, good. And then on that in-breath, I can take the leg away. Exhale, drop the pelvis. Send the leg towards the torso. Again, I can extend in the bottom leg at any point if it feels good, if it feels right. Yeah, if I keep that bottom leg bent for a little while longer, it just allows me to release into the back of that leg that I'm drawing in towards me a little more. And then of course you can add in taking the leg out to its own side. Again, I'm going to mention this. I'm going to keep mentioning it, but really focusing on both sides of the pelvis falling. Can you soften in the thigh of the leg that's out to its own side so it's not holding and gripping to keep the leg there? What will really help is allowing your foot and your leg to fall into the strap, and then that's where you use your upper body to gently pull the strap towards you, So there's support for your foot and your leg to lean into. And yeah, just check when you arrive, am I gripping or can I let that leg go? Good. Excellent. And then if you feel like it, you can lower that leg all the way down. If you've crossed the leg over the body, move into a bit of a twist. Again, you can place something under that foot. If it's hovering, it just allows you to release, give over to gravity. If you have that support. Excellent. And then sending that leg back up towards the center. I'm going to release my strap. And then I can bend in the leg, the bottom leg, place that sole of the foot on the ground if I haven't done that already, or if your leg is extended. Good. And then let's lower that leg back down towards the ground. Oops, there goes my mic. Just continuing on. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, lowering that leg. Good. And then eventually extend in both legs. What you can actually do is remove the bolster and then lowering and extending the legs. Sans bolster, if it is under your pelvis. Just checking in, how does that feel? Maybe giving yourself a little hug, giving the legs a little hug at some point. And then let's make our way onto our hands and knees when you're ready. What I would suggest is rolling over to the side, pressing the hand of the top arm into the ground and rolling up just to maintain that nice softness and ease. Yeah, good. As we come on to our hands and knees, we can start to move the spine around, undulate the spine in whatever way feels good. Good, good, good. And then we're gonna get a little more into those legs, yeah? So let's start by taking one leg behind, yeah, and then I can take that leg out to its own side, and I can kind of rock along the heel a little bit to stretch into that inner leg, hamstrings, prep us for the next little section. Good. And then sending or walking that foot and leg in front of you to come into a lunge. So here into lunge is where you can bring your blocks if you choose. And also I would have your towel, folded towel or blanket ready. So we're gonna move in and out of the lunge at your own pace. So I'm gonna inhale, come out of the lunge. And as I come out of the lunge on that in-breath, I'm going to extend in that front leg. So I'm really speaking to the back of the legs and to the hamstring. Good. And then I'm going to inhale and then exhale, come into my lunge. Inhale, come out of it. Exhale, come into that hamstring stretch. If you want to flex that front foot, go right ahead. So moving in and out a few times here. Good. And then eventually what we're going to do is if you're comfortable, so you can hang out here in that hamstring stretch if that is asking a lot for you at this moment. So this is where I may hang out. If it's too low, if your hands are too low, again, I can place my blocks underneath my hands. Or the other option could be coming all the way down, so sending the pelvis all the way down to the heels, and I'm going to place the rolled up or folded up blanket or towel under my knee, and then have a seat on my heel, breathing into the hamstring, breathing into the sole of the foot, up the leg, into the pelvis. Exhale, drop the pelvis. Send that breath, heaviness, softness all the way down the leg to the foot. Excellent. Of course, come out of it at any point. You don't have to hang out there for too long if it's not comfortable. What you can do is continue to move in and out of the lunge and in and out of that hamstring stretch. Yeah, or you can hang out for a few breaths. So take a little bit of that on your own. I'm going to add in another little piece. So as I add in these elements or these movements, just know that I want you to start to explore and experiment with moving at your own pace and just moving in and out of these different sensations and stretches and movements at your own pace, at your own rhythm. Yeah. So the next piece is if I come into the lunge, I'm going to curl that back toes or the toes of the back foot under, and then I'm going to extend the leg and then lower the heel. So I'm in kind of like a forward bend triangle. Again, I can bring my blocks in if I need a little more elevation. Make sure they're on the mat so that they don't slide away from you. Good. And I can come in and out of that as often as I'd like. And if you want, you can flex in that front foot. And then the other option, which might feel quite lovely, is I can bring this block of the back leg closer to the inner part of that front foot. I can place that hand. So if I have my left leg in front, I'll place my right hand on the block and I can open out into a twist. And then I can, as I come back, I can switch hands, opening out into the other side. So the idea here is, can I keep both feet parallel? And what that'll do, if I turn that other foot out, my pelvis isn't level, so then I don't quite get that twist in the spine. So if I keep both feet parallel, good. Excellent. A ground in both feet. If you need to bend in that front leg a little more, or if you need to bring that back leg a little bit closer, please do so. Good. So again, just moving in and out at your own pace. In and out of any or all these movements. Take pause whenever you need to. Good. eventually coming back to the center, taking that front leg behind you, give it a good shake. I may come to a downward dog just to extend in both legs. Walk your dog. Excellent. Yeah, you can come in and out of your downward dog. Good. So let's start to move towards that other side. So I'm going to send my opposite leg now behind, extending that leg behind me. Yeah, I can roll along the ball of the foot, sending that leg out to its own side. Again, rolling along the heel, feeling for the sensation in the inner thigh, hamstring. Be mindful of your knee at all times. You never have to fully extend the leg. Okay, so if the sensation is quite loud, bend the knee, find the ease. Yeah, don't force yourself. Don't let it be too strong. Because if we can move little by little and unravel, yeah, and knead out that tension, there's more, my hair's a mess today. There's more opportunity in sustaining the length and the flexibility in the hamstring, right? If we go too far, too fast, too soon, we can injure ourselves first and foremost. And second of all, because the muscles they have elasticity, it's like an elastic band. If I pull it too much too soon, it'll just snap right back to the tension it was at. But if I just gradually, little by little, stretch it out, it maintains its length, yeah? So then again, walk that foot and that leg in front of you. Again, you can use your bolsters or your blocks in the lunge. So moving in and out of your lunge, in and out of that hamstring stretch and sensation. Keep breathing up and down the leg. Keep dropping in the pelvis. Good. Again, you can hang out in the hamstring stretch here. If it's accessible, you can lower towards your heels a little more to support the knee by placing your towel under the knee. You can hang out here for a few breaths. Relax the ankle, relax the foot. Again, keep dropping that pelvis. Softening in the upper body. And at any point you can come into your forward bend triangle, so I can come back forward into my lunge, curling the toes under of the back foot, extending the knee or lifting the knee off the ground, extending the leg. I can just step that back foot a little bit forward, so I have a shorter stance here. I can widen my stance too. I can take the feet a little bit wider. So I really want to find stability. Again, I can move in and out. Really focusing on planting those feet. Yeah, that's where your stability comes from. And that breath. So if I take a pause in the stretch here, I can bend the front knee or not. But if I take that idea of breathing in through the soles of the feet, up the leg into the pelvis, and then exhale, send that breath back down into the feet, really find the whole footprint and plant, yeah? So again, I can bring one block closer to the inner part of the front foot. Yeah, drop into those feet. Drop the pelvis. And I can take my twists. Good. Good. Excellent. Delightful. You guys are doing fantastic. Keep it up. I know this is a lot in the legs, a lot in the hamstrings, but if we, slowly, again, as I said, slowly and gradually knead out that tension, I may discover that sustainability in hamstring flexibility. Good. And then when you're ready, take that leg behind you, give it a shake. Creaky floor. And I'm gonna maybe remove my blocks and my blankets, and then take a downward dog once again. If that feels good, you can test out what it feels like to extend one leg in downward dog. Good. And then the other great little counter pose could be a couple options here. I can move from child's pose to cat to cobra. Oh yeah, that feels good. Releasing the hamstrings and lengthening the hamstrings can actually be quite useful in releasing the hips as well, and vice versa. Yeah, so this actually might feel really nice and releases the low back. Good. Or I can come all the way onto the ground, place my forehead on my hands. I'm not going to at this point because my mic might get crushed, but you can bend the knees and rock the legs side to side. Good. And then on your own time, if you'd like, you can finish sitting, or you can finish resting back in Shavasana. So whatever suits you. Sitting might actually feel quite nice because we've freed up and woke up the legs a little more, which again in turn affects the hips and the low back. Okay, so you choose to finish sitting for a few moments or resting on your back. Continue to sit here for as long as you'd like. I'll leave you with this final mantra. You can join me by mentally repeating it to yourself or out loud. And you have the option also to bring the palms of the hands together to the forehead. Think love. To the lips, speak love. To the heart center, be love. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this practice in awakening the legs and really starting to move towards hamstring flexibility and leading to hip mobility and lower back or spinal mobility. It's all connected, you see? Anyways, thank you again, and be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you know anyone who could benefit from this practice or any of the practices on my channel, please share this video, share the channel, like, comment, ask questions. And also, if you would like an opportunity to work with me one-on-one to dive a little deeper into finding ease and releasing holding and tension in your body, in your system, in your whole nervous system, then be sure to click the link below for a 20-minute free consultation to see if we are a good fit and if I could help you out. Again, be well, my friends, and until next time, ease into your best life.